What is going on, everybody? How we doing? Hope all is well. Here we are, the 144th episode. Baseball playoffs are happening. So I really don't. Hey, Alan, how you doing, buddy? Hope you're doing well, my friend. Baseball playoffs are starting to kick into gear. We were going to go ahead and something happened in the Yankee game. We're going to go ahead and kick into gear with some playoff talk. We're going to wonder, hey, what's going on? How's your teams doing and everything? Uh, you know, what's going to happen as the as the playoffs continue? From that standpoint. So, I mean, so far we've had, really good playoffs. I mean, we've really had, you look at yesterday's games on Tuesday. I mean, other than the Dodgers game, the other three games were very competitive. Uh, Unbelievable pitching performances from Terry Skubal and from Garrett Crochet. Um, you know, these are the kind of performances. What's happening, Dami? These are the types of performances that are gonna get guys paid. They are going to make some good money. If they keep doing, if they have these types of playoff appearances. I mean, you look at what Scooble did yesterday, his box score, incredible. Yeah, it's weird that they were, but I mean, it's what's interesting about that, Larkin, was that, I mean, a bunch of them were still trying to figure out what they were doing about getting into the playoffs. So they were actually, able to, you know, sacrifice in a way to be able to get their guys there. But again, you look at, School 7 and 2/3, 1 run, 14 strikeouts, 107 pitches, 107 pitches. That's what's supposed to happen. And then you look at the other side, Williams for Cleveland in game number one. I mean, not for nothing. He went 6 innings, 2 runs, unearned, struck out 8. So he actually pitched well, also. Uh, you know, Again, yesterday, you look at, Crochet. I mean, dude threw 117 pitches. That's the kind of guy that you want on your team. You want a guy who says, "Give me the ball." Cora said that he and Garrett were sitting on the bench, before the game and stuff, and they were talking. And Crochet went ahead and looked at him and he said, "One call to the bullpen today." And he was like, "Nah, we'll see. One would be great. Probably be two." And he was like, "No, there'll be one call. It'll go me, and then it'll go Chapman." And the guy went ahead and he pitched his heart out, man. 7 and 2/3, 117 pitches, 11 strikeouts. Did give up a home run, but 11 strikeouts. I mean, you know, unbelievable, unbelievable. Only 3 game series in 4 years, and so far all three going to game 3. Yeah, so far we have looks like yep, looks like we'll have to see okay, Yankee game went final. So we got 3 of them. I'd be surprised if Cincinnati beats Yamamoto. Uh the way that Dodger offense is. A lot of people were wondering about the Dodgers. They were laughing about the Dodgers. Oh, look at the Dodgers, look at the Dodgers, look at the Dodgers. And, I think the Dodgers knew what they were playing for. The Dodgers were playing to get to this point. And, they showed it yesterday. Green, very good pitcher for Miami, Powerball pitcher. He didn't do as well, but you know, um, he got he got beat up. First bat of the game, boom. You know, home run, Shohei, who you know, for as much as I love Barry Bonds and growing up to me, he was the greatest player, I, that I've ever seen. Um, you know, Unfortunately, I think he may lose out to Shohei. Shohei is just it's just incredible what that dude is doing. It's gonna be interesting. I mean, he's gonna win another MVP, and then who knows what happens after that. I mean, yeah, I don't know what goes ahead and what stops him, but we'll see. But Cleveland comes back today. They put up 6. Good game for them. They go ahead and they tie it at 3. I'm sorry, at 1 apiece to go to game 3. The Padres, sorry, Maddie. But Padres go ahead. They get the clutch home run from Machado off of Shota. Interesting. I know that you know, it was still early in the game. It was only the 5th inning. Um, but it was interesting, that they let Shota go ahead and pitch to him. I was surprised that Shota didn't get the start. That they went ahead and went with what's his name, Kittredge. I don't understand that. What are you doing? It's the playoffs. Were you thinking we're playing with house money? Let's see if we can squeeze an inning out of a guy. Didn't make sense to me. But then again, I don't know what San Diego was thinking today with Dylan Cease going ahead and only getting 3 and 2/3 innings. And here's a guy who's going to be a free agent next year. And people are going to look and they're going to go, "What the hell? You want me to pay you a lot of money? You only go 3 and 2/3." Now I don't know if maybe he got hurt. I don't know. I didn't see any of the games, so I don't know if anybody did. Please go ahead and say so. But I don't get it. I don't get it. I really don't understand. Been chasing some nostalgia cards from the '90s of late. I've wanted as a teenager collector, Dom. Yeah, you know. I think you're seeing I think you're seeing, a bunch of that, Alan. I think you're seeing people are looking what is out there today, and they're saying, some of the cards look pretty cool and everything. You know what? But there's the not as much nostalgia. I don't know how much nostalgia there's going to be on these cards, 25, 30 years from now. I know, we probably most some of the people in the chat won't care. Um, might not even be here. Sorry. But you're sitting here, you wonder when you look at today's cards, will there be any nostalgia behind them? You know what I mean? I'm sure. I mean that. I'm not saying you won't have players. It's not about a Mike Trout, a Shohei, a Bryce Harper. I mean, there's going to be guys that are gonna have that clout, if you want to call it, or whatever it may be, where 20 years down the road, 30 years down the road, their cards are still going to be. But have we seen that iconic type of card come out now? But then I wonder when we were in the 90s, did we think those cards were iconic when they first came out? So I guess I guess a matter of we will have to wait and see. Where is the nostalgia? Where is it going to come from? You know, uh, you know, I sometimes wonder, I know people talk about like tops now cards about stuff like that. There are certain ones where if I see them, I will go ahead and get them. But those seem to be the cards that celebrate the accomplishments of a player. Uh, you know, I don't know if we I don't know if we're gonna see like we used to see, some of the record breaker cards or some other things, that we saw, back in the day, you know, where we look at it and for instance, Alan, I know, like the Frank Thomas, the no name Frank Thomas. Like that was a card people wanted to go for, but I wonder if let's say who, I don't know who, but now well, I think it wasn't it in Heritage, I think they print them with no name. So it's not like it's a something, it's a rarity or anything like that. So, you know, I don't know. Is the postseason the remaining peak of selling baseball cards besides release dates for the rest of the year? I think it is. Um, it's funny. I was just looking before I went live. I was wondering, I was using Scooble as a thing. I was very surprised um, that more of his rookie cards didn't sell yesterday. Now, that could be because people went ahead and jacked up the prices. I didn't know. I didn't really look at the prices of the cards. You know, um, so I don't know if that had anything, to do with it. But, from the standpoint of, I mean, I think you will see something, Dom, something uh if something special happens. And I don't know if it's gonna be like if Shohei would have hit 3 home runs in one game, I don't know how much of the needle that moves for him, but maybe that player just below him. Um, you know, I'm not gonna say I don't know. Is it Freddie Freeman? Um, is it some other guy? Is it a rookie? If we have a rookie who does well in one game, that could go ahead and propel them. But this is probably one of those points to where, you know, uh, certain players, again, I don't know how they're going to sell, but I would believe that there could be a little bit of an uptick. The 1990 O-Pee-Chee Frank Thomas, nice. Appeals to me more than his no name. Yeah, yeah, acquired from a seller in Canada, which was just awesome. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, but I mean, that's what I mean. So it's one of those things where I think you'll see if you want to call them, I mean, technically, that Frank Thomas card is a vintage card, technically. And when you look at the how the verbiage is a something that is considered vintage is I think 25 years, 20 or 25 years old. So that Frank Thomas is a vintage card technically. Now, we don't think a lot of times we don't think that way. We think the vintage cards is the things from the 50s, the 60s, even the 40s. I don't even know. There are some people who, they don't really even think about 70s or 80s cards as being vintage, but they are, from that standpoint. Um, but I think the older crowd that was teenagers in the 80s, teenagers in the 90s, probably even teenagers in the early 2000s. I think you'll see some of those cards go ahead and start to have an uptick. But again, to me, I think that is just because today's cards, it's almost like you're looking for more, and not gimmick cards, but it almost looks like you're looking for more inserts than you are, your normal day to day, rookie card. And I think that's where the nostalgia, that's where the some of the appeal comes from. You know, when you looked at rookie cards, you didn't have, I don't know, 100 different rookie cards for a guy because because a set has 10 inserts and then it has and it has two different rookie cards, a rookie debut and a rookie card, and then there's because but then there's the flagship, for the talking baseball, there's the flagship, then there's the chrome, then there's maybe the heritage, Then there's going to be the Bowman. They're going to have a rookie. A lot of people don't care about that, but you know, a lot of people don't care about that. But it is what it is. From that standpoint. Yeah, Tuscar Hernandez. That's what'll hurt the Dodgers. That's what's going to hurt the Dodgers. Fielding is going to hurt them. I think they got enough pitching. They definitely got enough offense. We'll see what happens. Hello, Kenneth. How are you? From that standpoint. Um, but we'll see. It's going to be interesting to see where how things progress with the with it. I ain't telling Dip Elementary where I owe Frank Thomas attended Columbus, Georgia, while my dad was stationed Fort Benning. Hence the connection of Frank. Oh wow, that's awesome that you met him. That is very cool. Very, very cool. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. I want to thank you guys for for being here. I know there are plenty other options out there. Other channels you could be watching, or you could be sitting watching the baseball game. So I appreciate that. I would have more to say, but I'll probably get myself in trouble. So the playoffs are going to be interesting. Obviously, the only one that can end tonight is potentially the Dodgers. So that's going to be interesting. There are this new format and stuff. It's interesting. There's no day off, so all these guys play tomorrow. And that's one of the things that's very interesting with some of them. Like you look at like the Red Sox. If the Red Sox were winning 4-3 rather than losing 4-3, would they have brought Chapman back in tonight? I don't know. He threw a lot of pitches last night. So it would have been interesting to see whether he would have done. The rights to Georgia. The house is actually still in it. Wow. That's pretty cool. I know I'm sure the house uh, that I grew up in, I know that there's probably been some changes. I know there's been changes to the outside. I would think by now there's been changes to the inside. So again, baseball playoffs going on. We'll see what happens. Dodgers seem to be hanging tough right now. Yamamoto's pitching, stuff like that. I think what's going to be interesting for me with the Dodgers, the way Tanner Scott has pitched, makes me wonder how much confidence they are going to have in him in close games. It's going to be interesting because they, I don't know, they they got to be careful with him. Definitely got to be careful with him. So, but looking forward to it. In the Dodgers and the Red Series, I picked the Dodgers to win. The Guardians, Indians, I picked the Guardians. I picked the Cubs. And I think I picked the Yankees. I picked the home teams just because, to me, I thought it was going to be difficult. It's difficult for a team to go ahead and have to do that. So, yeah. I mean, the Yankees bullpen did okay today. But but the Yankees came back, right? Devin Williams, Devin Williams came in, he held the game, and then they used Bednar to close. But you're 100% correct. The way their bullpens have been, Going to be very, very tough. The Dodgers bullpen going to be very, very tough. For them if they don't figure something out, if they don't somehow go ahead and get some things turned around, the Dodgers bullpen, you know, is just yeah, they haven't been good, stuff like that, and unfortunately, you know, you look at a lot of bullpen failure that has happened even towards the end as teams were trying to make the playoffs. You had bullpens that were having a hard time holding on, you know, from that standpoint. But yes, I agree with you, Lockin. It's going to be difficult for those two. Um, I don't know. The thing that gets me is think I think the Dodgers have more offense to where they might be the where it might not be that much of an issue as Cincinnati goes up as Cincinnati goes ahead and puts up two runs in the first inning, two unearned runs probably. Tops already has NBA pre-order. Yeah, I saw that. Man, I looked at that. I saw that lock in. They topped with the logos too. With the logos. So they actually have, that they have the names, the logos, and everything. Hello, Jim. How you doing? Nice to be. Thank you for coming. Um, but you look at it. It is flagship. It looks like Series One. It doesn't look that much different than Series One. From that standpoint, the base card. Uh, I don't. Going to be interesting. Hello, Big John. How are you, buddy? Going to be interesting to see what how it works out. But you're going to get Cooper flag autographs on a rookie card in his Mavericks uniform. So, what I think is going to be interesting from that standpoint, from the NBA, is you look at, for instance, the last rookie class. And even if you go back to when Wemby was a rookie, this is going to be, you're going to have Wemby's autograph on a Topps card with his uniform. So going to be, going to be cool. Going to be cool to see what it looks like. Um, I would, I would probably like to maybe pick up a mega box or a blaster to see what it would be like. But I was just going to say that, Lockin. But none of it is going to be that affordable from that standpoint. I mean, if they're going, I wonder, if they're going to do hobby boxes, they're going to do jumbos. So when you figure out about the price of what a Topps flagship paper, um, you know, jumbo was going for baseball, I can only imagine what it's going to go for basketball. Have you seen the price for this? I have not seen the prices for Disney Chrome or SpongeBob. Big John would like to know how everybody's doing. Man, Big John, I tell you, I wish I was live with you guys last night when you were doing your WNBA talk. It would have been yeah, I had some questions that were just or points to bring up that were too much to go ahead and type. Yeah, but you'll have it. I haven't seen the prices yet, Lockin. Have you seen the prices? No, only collecting MLB, WWE, women, and the NFL. Hey, Johnny, how you doing? No worries, my friend. No worries. They do have the odds on some of the stuff. Um, but so so when we look at the odds, it's very interesting in that, for instance, in the flagship value boxes, And I don't know what SEEACCSEEA. I don't know what a lot of that crap means. But for instance, in the value boxes and in the mega boxes, you will not be able to get the purple rainbow. You won't be able to get the blue rainbow. You won't the base the I'm sorry. You will not be able to get the base purple rainbow, the base blue rainbow, the base green rainbow, the base gold rainbow, or the base orange rainbow. You get none of that in value boxes, mega boxes, packs, display boxes, hanger boxes. They are going to have Costco super boxes and the Fanatics value boxes. So right there, you have one, two, three, four, five, and the rainbow red six, and the sand glitter and the blue sand glitter. So you have one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. You have eight parallels that you won't. SpongeBob is $500. Holy crap. But you have eight parallels that you will not be able to get out of a value box, a mega box, a display, a hanger box, the Black Friday Target value box. You won't get them there. You won't get them at the Costco super box. You won't get them at the Fanatics value box. So there's eight parallels already that you cannot get. You can, and that's the, now if you go even to the higher numbers, the Diamante, the pink Diamante, the gold Diamante, the orange Diamante, and the black, you'll only be able to get those out of hanger boxes. So, wow. So you're talking about with the basketball, the stuff that is going to be considered affordable, there's so much stuff you can't even get out of it. I mean, it's crazy. And that's only I mean, there's a whole bunch of more stuff that you can't get, like for instance, out of the Costco box, there's a whole bunch of stuff that you could only get out of the Costco box. The crackle board, the green crackle, the gold crackle, the orange crackle, the black crackle, the red crackle, and the platinum. You'll only be able to get those of the Costco box. So, they're doing what they got to do, Fanatics. Again, hey, let's space out a lot of the stuff. We'll see what happens. Probably try a box each of the holiday this year. I pre-ordered a couple of the ones off of the Topps website. When you say each, why? What else do they have? And I just saw the mega boxes on top. So they doing a Fanatics one, or are they going ahead and doing are they doing tins again or something like that? Yeah, when you look at the odds that they have written down, there is the mega, the tin. I mean, I tell you, I would love to get an Advent. I don't know where you could get those though. Are they a Target thing? I didn't see them on Topps' website, but I would love to get an Advent one. I would think. You ordered the 3-pack of tins. Did you order those at Target walk-in, or did you order those on Topps' website? But it's amazing when you look at the odds, all the different stuff. The flagship Real One Spike Lee autographed foil refractor. The flagship S value box SE is 1 in 39 million. Million. 1 in 39 million. In the flagship distributor holiday box, the flagship Real One Spike Lee autograph, 1 in 17 million. Oh, it's already out. It's already on there. Oh, I gotta check that out. I gotta check that out, man. So it so on Topps' website, Topps has the SpongeBob blasters. I'm sorry, value boxes for $40. They have that right now. I don't see the tins. I'll have to look for the tins. I like the tins. I like the tins. I like the design. I like what they're doing. I like the little candy cane thing that they're doing for the pictures. So I'm okay with that. I'm okay. I'm okay with that right there. I'll tell you what. Uh huh. Uh huh. Uh huh. Tins are on Fanatics. $45 for three of them. I should probably go ahead and I should probably look to get one of those so I give Mike one for Christmas. Tops Now cards are out there. Shohei, Crochet. Expensive though. It's interesting. The Crochet and the Schoolboy are $11.99. The Shoheis are $8.99. The Hernandez are $8.99. So that's interesting. That's very interesting. I didn't realize they were I didn't realize they were doing that. So but we'll see. I mean, again, Topps holiday cards look good. I mean, at least I like them from a standpoint of, um, at least you have a good shot at getting some stuff. You can get some autographs. You can get a gold parallel. You can do stuff like that. Blowout only have the tins by the case. 300 for 15 tins. Oh, well. 20 bucks a tin. Or 90 bucks or 45 for three. Huh. Interesting. They will get more and put them on closer to release. What? Probably. Probably. Does your eBay still see spikes during the playoffs, especially since you have player lots up now? Um, Actually, I did see a little bit of a spike. Not that much. Um, I have to, but like for instance, here's a for instance for you today. When did it happen? Is there a timestamp on here? I'm trying to figure this part. I'm trying to figure this out. I'm not sure. Well, but I will tell you this. Today, I had somebody buy a Manny Machado bobblehead from me. So I sold a Manny Machado bobblehead. I have sold some J Rods. Um, so I have sold a few of the lots. Um, you know, normally, yes, Kirby, Clayton, Montana, very nice. Uh yeah, I tell you, uh, Cactus Jack looked okay. I got a couple of those um cards, not boxes or anything like that. I got a few of those cards, so that I liked. Yeah, the WWE Finest. It is what it is. Um, I think it's going to be interesting now. Again, like we are talking about, you mentioned the NBA and stuff with the flagship. We'll see. Um, Dom, I think, in my opinion, I believe that you might see a little more of a spike coming as we go into tomorrow or go into Friday with the playoffs. Um, but I don't know, I don't know. Like I was saying, I was very, very surprised. I didn't even just looking at the uh even looking at, the sold items, I was surprised that I did not see as much being sold. I thought there would be a lot more, but there wasn't. So that I found, odd. Crown, yeah, it's gonna suck. 32 women's cards, nice. Um, so yeah, Dom. I mean, it's not. I'm not as big a spike as I thought there would be yet. I still think there will be a spike. Um, but again, just not yet. But again, I'm looking right now, and if like I said, if I look, so I don't know why this one came up, but actually, so let's look at you know uh Tyreek for one. Let's see. Yes, today is October the 1st. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. You had 11 of his cards sold as of a little while ago today. That was today. Then if you even think about it, depending on what time they sold, there are a couple others that sold, yesterday afternoon probably. So over the last couple of days, there has been a spike in Scooble. That's what I think. I don't, the market's going to have so many of them out there. Like if you just do a Scooble rookie cards right now, they're only saying that there's, um, there are, oops, there's 301 of his cards listed. So if you go ahead and if you get them listed, you are going to have competition. There are some auctions for some of his slab stuff. So that might be stuff. But again, people are they're gonna raise those prices and everything. I mean, nothing. You have a Scooble rookie signatures. It's a Donruss optic, and somebody has it up for $240, and it's a PSA 9, and the auto is rated an 8, and they have it for 240. Good luck. There's somebody has his Bowman first edition blue sky for 170. There are some auctions going on for his stuff, but then again, it depends, right? Here's somebody who has the Bowman rookie base, $30 in a slab. So who knows? Who knows? Who knows? The freaking 49ers, it's ridiculous. The injuries every year. Injuries have been crazy. We were talking about injuries yesterday um on the dialed in, and it was a lot. I have a five. You have a 5-star auto. Nice. Very nice. Yeah, I mean, you know, I think when you look at right now, like it'll see to me, Dom, if here's somebody who has a chrome Bowman Chrome Sapphire Auto PSA 10. It's his first Bowman, and it's the Sapphire. They have it listed for $980. It's a little crazy for me, but hey, I get it. Again, you're gonna see a lot of new I think what you'll see right now is you will see a lot of people throw up their stuff that they may not have put out there before. So, you may have, you know, you may have a bunch of people that are like, "Oh my gosh." So that's what I'm saying. So it's kind of excuse me. It's kind of interesting, from that standpoint. You're gonna as much because for the sellers that are looking, I mean, sorry, for the buyers that are looking, there's sellers that are waiting also, right? So there are sellers that are saying, well, hell, holy cow, I have three, Tyreek School rookie cards. I better go ahead and get those online. Maybe somebody's gonna want one. And unfortunately, I think what happens is um, you'll get people that will, unfortunately, they'll overprice stuff. I just think that's the way it's gonna go. Um, to me, though, I think you look at some of these guys right now, they're making a legacy. Schoolable, same type of thing, man. If he can go ahead and if Detroit can somehow win, and then all of a sudden, he pitches well in the next round and he leads them, you know, dude's gonna get paid. Gonna get paid, you know. So, you know, gonna be gonna be interesting to see what happens with him. Gonna be interesting to see. Crochet's another one. Look at crochet stuff. I have a couple of crochet rookies. I thought about going ahead and getting them online right away. But again, like I'm saying, I'm not, a lot of people are gonna do that. So I wish I had a lot of them. I wish I had at least six of his rookie cards, because I would take six of them and throw them up and see if I can go ahead and get. What are they going to be? You're not. It's not. Most of the stuff is going to be base stuff. I mean, that's going to be affordable, because if these guys continue to pitch well, their stuff is, people are only going to list their stuff a lot higher. A lot higher than than what it should be. Um, and that's okay. To each their own. I mean, again, to each their own. People are going to do. People are going to list what they want to list. They're going to see what they can get. Again, I think I would be looking for stuff. If you see somebody have a good game, or if you think someone's going to have a good game, and you're willing to take a shot on them, go out there now and start looking at some of those cards, because you know what's going to happen. A guy goes ahead and um, pitches a great game. Hit, I don't know, somebody hits 3 home runs, 4 home runs in a game. Their stuff is There's gonna be people out there and be like, oh my gosh, I had this card for $10. I better do it. I better up it $5 to 15. People are gonna be looking for it. You know, you're not, again, when you look at it from that standpoint of is you're not the only person looking for them. So just be mindful of that. But if you see it and you like it, and it's within your price range of what you're willing to go ahead and pay, I mean, you could pick it up. I think when you look at these guys that you'd be looking at picking up, I don't think they're probably surprises. You know what I mean? So I think, it's not like not like you have too much of a surprise where a guy's going to come out of nowhere. Those are the ones that you will see the spike on, right? Um, Again, I don't know who. Let me see. What do we have for, let's say, for pitching for tomorrow? Do we have anybody? So maybe this kid, this Connolly early. I don't know. I don't know how much they're going to let him pitch. I don't know if he's going to be considered an opener or not. He's pitched 4 games for the Red Sox. He's 1-2. But like, there's a guy right there, Connolly early. If he goes ahead and comes out tomorrow and shuts down the Yankees and throws, he gets to 90 pitches and gets close to the 7th inning. Like, that's a guy I would probably look for one of his cards to see, because I think that's what you would uh that's what I think a guy, what where you might see a spike. If Aaron Judge goes 2 for 4 with 2 home runs, you know we're not going to see a spike in his cards. I think the spikes that we will get will come from, you know, I don't want to say no name players, but you know what I mean, right? Or it's pardon me, you know, lack of expectation. And I think it would be the guys who have the lower expectations are the ones that could go ahead and really, pay the dividend, in my opinion. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. We will see what happens. I do want to say, I'm probably not going to put it on the channel. I haven't decided yet, but I'm working on. So as just if if you would let me go ahead, and if you just have a little patience with me for a couple of minutes, um, to talk about some uh, other, some non baseball, non sports stuff. I know you have heard me talk in the past about Huddle HQ, moving. So what I've been doing is between us, my wife and I, be going up to North Carolina, and our friends and our neighbor, uh, getting pictures and stuff. I'm putting together a compilation of, the process and how the house build is going. So I'm gonna be dropping those videos. um, I have a regular channel, a Michael Gentili channel. But I was considering, even though I don't know what it would do to the algorithm, if it'll mess up Huddle Card. I was thinking about throwing it up as a playlist on Huddle also, just to go ahead and see, what the process is, from that standpoint. So when I move, can you get all of my cards? Might be a battle between you and Mike. Um, but I would say the plan is for right now, the plan is for the cards to go ahead and move with me. So sorry, but yeah. So I think I'm gonna, like I said, I don't know if I want to put it up and throw the algorithm off. I may have to rip open a bunch of stuff just to go ahead and have more videos of more videos of that stuff. Yeah, he's not too bad. He's a good kid. Or I should say he's a good young man. He's a good young man. Um, yeah. So again, if if you're gonna be looking for, for players and stuff like that again, and you're thinking about, again, depends on how what you're looking at, what you're looking for, um, what you might be trying to accomplish by picking up some of the quote unquote, hot players, that are going to be, playing. If you're To me, if you're going to be trying to get them just to go ahead and hold on to them, then I would probably look at the star players, more than the holy cow, this guy had it. Like I was saying, that early Connolly kid who's going to pitch for the Yankees tomorrow, right? Um, I don't know if I would invest a lot in him. Uh, if he, would I take a shot? Maybe see what he has. Maybe a Bowman first, Chrome, something like that. Or if he has a special Bowman card, maybe something along those lines. But I wouldn't go deep on a guy like that, even if he pitches a great game, because you don't know what's going to happen. I mean, that could be the only good game he pitches all year long or even into next year. You just don't know. You know, could it be a springboard? It could be. But again, if you could go out there and you can, you know, find somebody who has a bunch, or go out there and find a bunch of his, like Bowman first cards, and maybe you can get, I don't know, 10 of them, and you can find them at $2 a piece on from a whole bunch of different people. It may pay to give it a shot. It may pay to give it a shot. So again, we'll have to see. Not 100% sure what's going on. Um, from that standpoint with the players and everything. The hobby, I still believe that we are in a tricky part when it comes to the hobby right now. I think we're getting to that point. Um, you know, we have not yet. We're trying to decide because we are. We don't know if we're going to stick around at Halloween. Um, we may, we may not be home and everything, so I'm not sure. Um, Going to try and get Christmas up because it will be the last Christmas here. Give the neighborhood, one last show. But we'll have to figure that part out as we get closer. Dom's a great speller like I am. So, but yeah, I mean that's again, I think and I think that when you're looking at the hobby and everything with all of a sudden now, um, you know, Tops is going to have their flagship product uh, you know, for the NBA. I know one of the things I think is going to happen is I just, from my standpoint, I just wonder what we're going to have from a variety standpoint. When you think about it, you know, no more national. Again, if you're a basketball person, if you're a football person, you know, one of the things that you liked about Panini was, national treasures. You liked, you know, those, that level of, of product. Um, will we get that with Tops? I mean, sure, what Tops is going to have Dynasty and they'll have a couple. I just wonder, in reality, what's it going to go ahead and look like? What's the excuse me, what's the hobby going to look like as for when, you know, after what we have again? Like we have, excuse me, we have the flagship for Tops. Okay, so what does that mean? We're going to get Tops Chrome. We're going to get Tops Update. Are they going to do a Heritage? Will they keep, like, will we get Heritage? Um, will they potentially think about, maybe not this year, but next year? Could they do a holiday basketball and or a holiday football? 'Cause that would be interesting. That would most definitely, be interesting. Seeing holiday football or you know, or holiday, basketball. But let's face it, for the most part, it's gonna be. I mean, as I was saying, when you look at the Tops that they have, that they're gonna have right now. You go to Tops's website and you look at the basketball. I mean, look, Check it out. I mean, that's Topps flagship right there. That's Topps flagship right there. No, they don't. Right? That's the same layout as a baseball card. That is no different than the baseball card. That's no different than the baseball card. You know? Will they have some differences as far as maybe this goes? Yeah. But overall, there you go. Look at LeBron. You know, again, yes, you have the autographs, but that's so so that they're so again, that's what I'm saying. Like I'm the thing that gets me is I wonder, you know, how much the lack of variety is what I wonder, what I would be the most concerned about when it comes to the hobby. But you got to think about it. You look at some of these cards, and I think when yes, you have a Cooper flag, but if you have Wemby and Wemby comes back and he's healthy and he's playing, okay, it's going to be his first Topps card with this autograph that will have the Spurs logo on it because he wasn't allowed to sign with Panini because he signed exclusive with Fanatics. So his rookie cards that from Panini didn't have the autograph. Now you'll have the autograph. So who knows? Who knows? Dodgers have come back. They scored one run last inning. So at the end of three, Cincinnati Redlegs 2, Los Angeles Dodgers 1. So will this series go 1-1 or will this series end? I don't know. And then we have to wait till Saturday. We got no games on Friday, so we got tomorrow for all our game threes. So right now we know we got Tigers Guardians. So you got Jack Flaherty against Slade Flaconi. We know we have Red Sox Yankees, which is two rookie guys. So there's another guy we talked about early for the Dodgers. This what's his name? Showlitter. Boy, you could definitely say that one wrong in a hurry. But Showlitter, who pitched 8 games, 40 innings, was 1-0. Um, Again, there's two basically rookie pitchers pitching game three. Talk about a short leash. Talk about what could become a. Oh no, I'm sorry. He was 4-3. I thought he was. He's 1-0 in the. I'm sorry. He's 1-0 in the last 7 days. Oh no, he's pitched. Oh wow. Oh no, he's been around more. I didn't realize that. I didn't realize he's been up since July. But here's a kid right there again. A rookie pitcher uh, potentially could go ahead and do something good. So there's those two guys. If we get Reds versus Dodgers, they got Abbott pitching for the Reds. The Dodgers are undecided. So you mean to tell me we're going to have, in the wild card round, potentially a bullpen game for the Dodgers? That's woof, woof. I wouldn't be too thrilled if I was Dodgers at that point. And then Padres Cubs, we got you Darvish against Jameson Tyon Italian. I'm not sure what the pronunciation is. So matchups are going to be interesting. Matchups are going to be very, very interesting. So what else do we have? We got that. The football, Purdy and Pearsall are out for tomorrow night. No Brock Purdy. So Mac Jones. I should get my Mac Jones lot thrown out there. From that standpoint. Colts Howard abruptly retires. What? Xavier Howard abruptly retired, citing family first. Veteran quarterback. He signed with the Cubs in August and hoping to revive his career after a year away. Okay, that don't matter. That Collier from the NBA has some torn ankle ligaments. Uh, yeah, we'll see what happens. Mets in five. Mets are going to have a very, I think, very interesting off season. Uh, in my opinion, they got to sign Pete. I think Pete needs to be the number one thing on their list. They got to be able to put a bat behind Juan Soto. When you think about with the year Pete had, look how many walks Soto wound up getting. Um, if you don't have Pete and you throw a Mark Vientos behind him, it'll be worse. They were, you know, yeah, they were. That whole WNBA thing is very interesting to me. Um, I think I mean, honestly, look, the truth of the matter is this: players don't like the um, players don't like the CBA. You know what? Let it run out, and then strike and say, "Hey, we're not going to go ahead and we're not going to play." Go ahead and do it and see what happens. I know people go, well, they have the unrivaled basketball league and so on and so forth. Yeah, I think trying to compare the WNBA to the unrivaled basketball league is comparing the NBA to the Big Three, and I don't think you can go ahead and do that. Bring back Pete Diaz and Soto. Yeah, I wouldn't mind if they brought back Tanner Rogers, or Taylor Rogers, I should say, just because the guy has a rubber on him. He can pitch all the time. He didn't do well in the playoffs, but he did pretty good during the rest of the year. They're losing money, and the players think they should be rich. It's a joke. Yeah, yesterday on FD and Big John's show, they were talking about it. Um, and I don't know, I I look at it from a standpoint of um, I'm not sure what they are expecting. Like how I don't I, like what's the value? I don't understand how you figure out the value when things aren't working when you're when you're not um when you're not making a lot of money. Now I understand. Look, and a comment was brought up that said, well, hey, you know, companies don't make money yet people get raises. I don't disagree. People get 3% raise, right? They don't go ahead and they don't get, you know, they don't go from 75,000 to 300,000, right? They go from 75,000 to 3% of that, so they get 2,500. From that standpoint. So that's the only thing that gets me from that standpoint. Again, the unrivaled stuff. Yeah, I don't think you compare those two leagues. To me, again, comparing the WNBA to unrivaled is like comparing the NBA to the Big Three. They did talk about player safety, but yeah, they went ahead and let all the shit happen with Clark and everything. So I don't know. I wonder if Clark went ahead, and I wonder how hurt she is. Yeah, like I said, I think it's I think it's unfair to do that. And the thing that gets me when it's crazy is they're going to go to 18 teams. They have the three new franchises paid $250 million for a franchise. 250 million. how long can it take for them to go ahead and make money back? I mean, they only play 34 games. I'm sorry, they only play 44 games. 44. So 44 games, it means 22 home games. How how quick do you make money when you drop down a quarter of $1 billion? You drop down 250 million to get a franchise, and you play 44 games. I gotta believe they're adding three more teams. So what are they at? One, two, four, 6, 8, 10, 12. They're at 15. So they'll go to 18 teams. I mean, are they going to stay the same as far as um, same number of games? They're going to increase games. Like, I don't know if they increased games from last year to this year. I know we had the Valkyrie. So they played 40 games last year, so they increased it by 4 games. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if they probably raise it about 6 games or so. But even if you see you're playing a 50 game season, I don't know how you make it up. Again, I'm not saying the league shouldn't exist. I'm not saying that the players shouldn't get more money. The players should get whatever they could get. Um, but I will say it, and it's to me, it's the same thing for baseball, for football, for basketball, for hockey, for lacrosse. I mean, any professional sports league that is out there, if the players don't like what their salary structure is, they don't like whatever the previous um, people who ran the Players Association, a deal that they agreed to, well, you have one or two choices. You present your vision of what the CBA should look like. The owners present their vision of what the CBA should look like. And if the owners say, if you ask for 10 things, and out of those 10, the owners are always going to be, you have a list from 1 through 10, most important, least important. And if the owners say, we'll only give you 10, 8, and 9, your top 7, you ain't getting, well, you have two choices. You either sign or you don't sign. I mean, it's really that simple. And there may be some girls, I'm sorry, ladies, I'm sorry. Maybe some ladies that aren't going to mind. I mean, would Caitlin Clark mind? Probably not. Will everybody's trying to compare. There's 144 players in the WNBA. There's 42 or 44 in Unrivaled. So those 42, 4 that play in the WNBA, they're like, hey, I don't care. I'll go to Unrivaled. I'll make my 100 grand. I'll play for, whatever it is, 20 games, 25 games, and I'll be done with it. But there's going to be other ones. What about the other ones who don't? They're going to have to go overseas. They're going to have to go places, potentially go ahead and get hurt. I get it all. I get it all completely. I'm just saying, that's what it boils down to. If they strike or lock out, business will crater. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if they can handle it. And here's the thing that gets me. Again, I only watch highlights. I have not sat down and watched a WNBA game. Um, and I can honestly say I probably will not. I have my reasons why, and you know what? It is what it is. You're going to add three more teams. Do we expect those three teams to be just like the Golden State? What is it? Valkyries. Are they all going to be that good? And they finished eighth, just made the playoffs by 2 games. You had three more teams. I mean, so you had three more teams. I don't know what a roster is made up of. I don't know how many people are. Let me see. So they have 144 right now. Let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. They have 13 players. Maybe they have more. So let's just say 15 players. They're going to add 45 more players to the WNBA. Um, Again, you know, what does that do to the talent? You already have teams that are the Dallas Wing. You know, you had three teams that played 250 ball or less. Yeah. Yeah. You know, and I mean, I'm not gonna, I'll tell you right now, another thing. I don't know what else they have going on, but the WNBA is touting this 10-year, whatever, $2 billion or $200 million, whatever. I don't even know what the contract was with the USA Network to show their games. I mean, it sounds great, but more people are getting away from cable TV. More people are cutting the cord and they're getting apps. So where else am I going to get, what is there a USA app that I'm going to have to buy now to be able to watch the WNBA from a WNBA fan? If I cut the cord, the younger crowd is probably what they're looking to draw. A more and more younger crowd is cutting the cord. So how are they going to watch? So used to watch a bunch of Liberty games, but I don't have time, nor will I pay for any more TV. Bingo. That's what I'm saying right there. That's what, Dom. That's exactly what I was just saying. WNBA, they're touting this 10-year deal with the USA Network. I don't know. Let me tell you something. The USA Network's biggest program was what? Up until 2024, what was the USA Network's probably number one program? Anybody guess what it could be? What was their number one? What was their number one show? Nope. The number one show was Monday. If I'm, unless I could be mistaken. Was Monday Night Raw, WWE, the longest episodic thing running. Right. That was probably one of the. If it was not their number one show, it was right up there. Where did they go? Netflix, ESPN, all paid apps. Why? Because people are slowly but surely not watching cable TV. Yeah, they may get maybe they get YouTube TV, and maybe you can get it that way. But there are a lot of people who go, you know what? No, I'm not going to watch. I'm going to get Hulu. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get, I'm going to get Netflix. I'm going to get, Prime. You do that stuff. So it's going to be interesting to see how that pans out for them as more and more people get away from cable television. So only the shadow knows. But we get the finals. Phoenix Mercury, the number 4 ranked team, going up against the Las Vegas Aces, the number 2 ranking. Monk. Wow, Monk. That's a blast from the past. And just like that, ladies and gentlemen and ladies, the Los Angeles Dodgers have come back and scored 2 runs in the bottom of the 4th inning to take a 3-2 lead. And they have runners on first and third with 2 outs. So we'll see. Again, WNBA, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. I'm looking forward to see how these negotiations go. If what Collier said, let's just say half of it is true. It wouldn't surprise me if it's all true, but just for yucks, let's say half of what she said, the commissioner said, how that commissioner still has a job today is mind-boggling. Mind-boggling. But hey, we are actually also, as a matter of fact, as the fact of the matter of the fact, um, NHL hockey going to go ahead and be starting up here soon. So, a lot of good stuff. A lot of good stuff going on. If I remember correctly, I want to say Tuesday, October 7th is opening night with 3 games being played. Yep. Preseason ends on Saturday, October 4th with opening night. Chicago, Florida, Pittsburgh, New York, Colorado, Los Angeles. Tuesday, October the 7th. A lot of games on ESPN Plus and everything, which I'm glad I got the ESPN. I got the ESPN app so I could watch wrestling. So I'm going to keep that for a few more months. I'll be able to watch some hockey. Who knows what I'll do going forward. But hey, everybody, you know what? We're going to go ahead and wrap it up here. Thanks a lot for hanging out with me. It is much appreciated. Um, Wait, Troy, NBA, yeah, yeah, yeah. NHL starts in 6 days, and I think what the NBA is in 2 weeks after that or so. NBA's what the end and I forgot when. So going to be interesting. Going to be interesting. I got to see if maybe the Wednesday before, maybe the Wednesday of opening week of hockey. Maybe I'll see if I can get one of those hockey guys that I had on last year or earlier this year to come on and talk about some hockey stuff. Thanks a lot. Much appreciated for you guys that are hanging out. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your evening. And I'll catch you next week. Thanks, everybody.